Greetings, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. Recently, I was on Twitter and I saw some people talking about the recent phenomena that is beige moms. And it piqued my interest a little bit because I have a lot to say about this because I personally know someone who's a beige mom, or I don't personally know them, they're a mutual friend. And I see them on Instagram and such, and they are a beige mom. And I've always had a lot to say about it. And now it seems to be, more of a trend and more people are talking about it, and more people are like showing it off on social media. And it's always kind of like rattled me wrong, So I have stuff to say about it. I wanted to sit down, I wanted to talk about it because I've seen some conversations about it online at the moment and I want to be a part of that conversation. I am a bit late. I started seeing this conversation like a month ago, but I'm never on time for anything, so why would I start now? I went through TikTok for way too long the other day, like way too long I was there. And I've saved some of the best beige nurseries that I could find, and I want to talk about them with you. We're going to look at them, we're going to rate them, we're going to have a little bit of a discussion, and then, let me know your thoughts on beige moms and colors in the comments. Before we do get into it though, I would like to take a moment to say thank you to today's patron of the day, Tim. I appreciate all of your support so much. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope that you enjoy this video. And if you would like to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/savvycat or click the top link in the description. If you want to hear more about it, stick around till the end and I will tell you more about it. All right, let's get into some beige, color-free, aesthetically pleasing nurseries, shall we?
We have 11 weeks until baby girl gets here, so it's time to do some nursery updates. Our glider was getting delivered today, so we needed to get the rug down. I am so obsessed with this rug from Lulu in Georgia.
Pause. Already, I hate the rug. I hate it. It's an ugly color. I don't like the rug. You're off to a bad start.
Then our glider came and it's so beautiful and comfortable.
I also hate the color of the wall. I hate dark walls. When I was a kid and I loved black when I was like 7, I had my first little I like black and skulls thing. I was like, I want my bedroom to be black because I like the color black. My mom was like, no, you can't have a dark room because it makes your room feel small. And I was like, okay, well, that seems silly, but whatever. But as I've grown up and as an adult, I understand and realize that is very true. If you have a dark colored room, it feels much smaller and it's dark, Like a baby shouldn't have a dark room. If you've covered the wall in posters and colored things and paintings, then yeah, all right, because then it's busy, it feels bigger again. But just dark walls, no, it's a no from me. Ugly rug, don't like the walls. We're off to a bad start.
Here is a look at how it turned out. I love the rug, I love the glider, the light, and it's just turning out so good.
It's boring, it's dark, and it's ugly, even for an adult room. I hate minimalism. I am an anti-minimalist. I am one of those people who I just don't get it, especially when it's dark colors. No. Pass. And then she did an update of the finished results. I kind of like the wallpaper on the ceiling. I think that's kind of clever. I like having a pattern on the ceiling. Everything else I hate. It looks like a hotel room. It looks like a hotel room. And it's a nursery for an infant child, for a baby. Why? I hate how there's a lack of color even for an adult. There's no stuff. There's no color. There's no personality. There's nothing there. It's just dull. And it's boring, and it's not at all stimulating for a baby. They go into it being it's a relaxing, natural vibe. Do you know how calm nature is. Nature is like the least calm thing ever. Natural nature is just so, it's wild. It's full of stuff and colors and movement and surprises. Nature is the most stimulating thing. Nature isn't just a patch of grass in the sun. Anyway, so this is kind of like the basis of what they all look like. Some of them are worse than others. There's one that I'm saving that is like my least favorite thing in the entire world, and we'll get to them in just a moment, but I do want to look at another couple first.
So you smile at everything I say. You got some soft lips and some pearly white. I wanna touch them in the dead of night.
So this one says like, I'll never regret taking the basics and turning it into the nursery of my dreams. And then it's all brown and white. And again, it shouldn't be the nursery of your dreams. It should be for your baby. The nursery is not for you. It is for your child. Stop forcing your aesthetic onto an infant child. Children need colors. They need it for development. They need shapes. They need texture. They need color. They need that. And like you have this thing of like, I want it to be natural and calming. Green, blue, yellow, orange, colors are natural. They are in nature. If you want to have like white walls or a beige wall or whatever, that's fine. But have like flowers, like bright colored flowers and like other textures and things in the room. The thing is that like, it's baffling to me is that these people go for beige rather than white, because like white, I think, is better than beige because it's light, you know, there's light in that. And if you want to go for an aesthetic or whatever, everything goes with white. You can have white and then you can also have green and pink and yellow and orange and any other color, and it looks like it fits because it's white. You can't put something wrong with white because white is, it's literally just nothing. It's just space. So anything can go with it. So if you want to have like an aesthetic or a vibe for the room, white, and then nothing can ruin that. You have beige. The only thing that can go with beige is beige or like a particular shade of green. That's it. You're very limiting, and it's like, it's dark. There's nothing there. It's empty, but like with darkness. Beige is the worst color, especially for a baby. It's so funny because it reminds me of, I don't know if any of you ever watched Imagination movies. It was my sister's favorite show when she was a kid. So like it was like a popular kids show in like 2006-ish, I would say. I don't really remember it exactly well, but it was like a group of guys in like this colorful sort of place, and they were using their imagination and they were making stuff happen, and there was lots of color and all that. And then next door they had this like grumpy man who like worked at an office, and everything he had was beige. Everything was beige. And this whole thing was like, this dude was so boring and strict and just living this really dull life because he refused to have any color and he refused to use his imagination. Everything he had was beige. And the whole commentary was about how sad and boring that is and how you need color. And these parents are like deliberately out here being like, my child loves beige. No child loves beige. Now we are going to move into what I have been saving, which is, this is an entire house. I looked at this account and like they're called like the Boring White House or something. So at least they're acknowledging it, but they are doing it to like make fun of people criticizing them. But like, just like hold on to your horses for a second here, because like I am so like baffled by this house. One so far in terms of like there's nothing there. It's just white walls and then like some like wood, and all of the toys are like white or wood. And I know I just said a moment ago that white is better than beige, but it's only better than beige when it has stuff. It doesn't work if there's nothing. Then it is kind of worse because then it is just empty and there's nothing to like ground you. This is horrific. I would hate to be in this room. As a child, I always said that my least favorite color was white. My least favorite thing in the entire world would be to be in like a white room because it's just expansive nothingness. You can't see where it starts, you can't see where it ends. And a lot of people say that about black, most people I talk to say it about black, you know, like darkness. But I prefer the darkness, like being in an all black, darker space, because then it could be bigger, you know, there could be things there. I'm not necessarily alone in like pure darkness. And I know to some people that is like scarier. The fact that it's dark and you can't see means like, oh my God, I'm not alone. But I find much more comfort in the idea that, like, you know, if it's fully black and it's fully dark, there might be someone else there. I'm not necessarily alone. I could be closer to something or someone than I think that I am. There could be things that I love all around me that I just cannot see in that moment. Whereas if it is entirely white, just empty space, I can see in every direction that there is nothing there. There is no one there. There is nothing I love, nothing to keep me company, nothing to make me happy, nothing. And I can't pretend that there is, because I can see that there isn't. When it's all black and it's all dark, I can pretend that there are things there. You know what I mean? And so like something like this, I would have despised as a child. I would have been miserable all the time. It makes me so unhappy, even as an adult. Just like white walls and nothing and no color makes me genuinely like so sad. And like it invokes like a fear in me. I hate it. I like despise it. And I feel so bad for any child that is subjected to like having no color and just white, because that would be so overwhelming going into the world and like realizing that color exists outside of the home. You know, it's like you read during like COVID times with like COVID babies, when they first saw people without masks, they were like, holy shit, what the fuck? Learning starts in the home, and you have to have the things that a child needs for development, and depriving them of color is like not cool. I don't care about your aesthetic. It is not okay to deprive your child of necessary things they need. This one's the worst because it extends so far out into their actual home. They said this, POV, the aesthetics will be ruined when she gets a baby gate. And she's like, no, look, we got like a clear baby gate, so it didn't ruin the aesthetics. Look at this. It's so dystopian. It's so weird. I hate how empty it is. And then they show their house, and it's literally just white. There is nothing else. Everything is white in the whole house. It makes my skin crawl. It makes me so uncomfortable. And there's a baby. There is a baby in this house that like literally has no color at all. And it takes away so much freedom of this child too, because like, what are you gonna do if they want to bring home something colorful? What are you gonna do if they want to put like a pink poster on their wall? Are you gonna let them? Are you gonna not let them? Are they allowed to bring color into their house? Because like, if you're this strict and overbearing about the aesthetic of your house, I'm really worried about how strict you're going to be towards your child, you know? Like, I don't want to step in and make assumptions, but it's kind of worrying that like you're willing to sacrifice the like development of your child to maintain an aesthetic of your house. My favorite thing of this one though is oh, I hate this house. I hate this house so much. It makes me so upset. I didn't save the video. That's so annoying. But their dog matches their aesthetic as well, and I found that quite amusing. Even the dog is like a white beigey dog. After scrolling for a long time, I saw someone talking about beige nurseries and beige moms, and they say some stuff that I really don't agree with. So we're gonna listen to what they have to say, and then I'm going to tell you why everything they say is wrong.
The comments on that video are disgusting. Everyone calling it like a sad beige aesthetic. No colors for a sad kid. That kid's gonna grow up with the worst line. It's a baby nursery, not the kid's room.
Okay, I'm gonna take a second here to ask a question. What do you mean it's a nursery, not the kid's room? A nursery is the kid's room. Most houses have one room for a child. The nursery is where they sleep. And it's also where they play and do everything else. The nursery is the kid's room. What do you mean it's the nursery, not the kid's room? Are you trying to separate like a nursery and a playroom? Regardless, a nursery is where a child sleeps. A lot of people have like nurseries or their bedroom, and then they'll play either in their room or in the lounge. Most houses have one room for the baby. So already, what?
Which, let's be honest, is mainly for the moms. a mother's sanity. And I can say for this postpartum and with my OCD and stuff, sometimes you just need a room in your house where everything is just matching and it feels zen.
Is that not what your bedroom is for? What's your room for then? What do you mean? Let's face it, the nursery is for moms. You need a place that's organized and has a nice aesthetic. And what is your bedroom? That's what your room is for. Your baby's room is your baby's space. Your room is your space. You have the rest of the house to do whatever the fuck you want. You can have a beige, organized, white, nice, tidy house if you want to. Your baby's room should be for your baby. That is their room. That is their space. They deserve a space for themselves too. When they wake up in the morning, they should wake up in their space. When they are tired, they should be in their space. We all need our space. Why are you taking away your child's personhood and need for personal space and their own place? They need a place to wind down. They need a place that is their own and that is safe. That's not your space. That's their space. And yes, you will spend time in there, but deal with it. It's their space. A lot of the time, babies will play in the lounge outside of their nursery. The nursery is primarily for sleeping and nursing and such. And most kids will play in the lounge and places like that. And you can have that be whatever aesthetic you want. That's the rest of your house. Do whatever. But let them have colorful toys and things that they take out and play with in there, and then put them back in their bedroom where they can see them and they know that they exist. It's their space. It is not for you. Oh my God. That is an insane thing to say.
We preach about mothers' mental health all the time, and then when we see a mom, in a way, taking care of her mental health, setting up a nursery that is maybe beige, y'all on here attacking. But we're sitting here praising the shit out of all the moms who can't even get out of the bed in the morning, can't have a shower. We make jokes about how we can't do these things and we're so fucking greasy and lazy. And then when there is a mom showing, oh, hey, I have things kind of organized, everything looks nice, it's matching, everyone's on their throat it's fake, worst life ever. I'm I've seen way too many mom shamers on the poor end of the income spectrum. It's jealousy isn't cute, bitch.
Your child does have to come first, and sometimes that does mean sacrificing pieces of your mental health. That is a decision that you made when you chose to have children. I'm sorry, and it sucks, and you shouldn't be, depressed and struggling mentally, obviously. However, your child does take precedence, especially when they're an infant and they need more time and attention and affection, and you have to make small sacrifices, such as you have to deal with the fact your house isn't going to always be tidy. You have to deal with the fact that you have to change your aesthetic and you have to change your lifestyle to accommodate for a child. You can't keep living your life exactly the same way before having a child and after having a child. That's not how it works, and you can't expect it to. And you can't expect a child to adapt and evolve to how you want to live your life and how you lived your life before you had a kid. You have to adapt and evolve your life to accommodate to having a child who is their own person and will develop their own personality and their own interests and is a person. You have to accommodate for them. They don't have to accommodate for you. I'm sorry. I know it's hard, but that is what you signed up for. And no one is praising moms and saying, it's so good that you didn't get out of bed, I'm so proud of you. It's more saying being a mom is fucking hard. It's a draining, exhausting job. And I am sure there are days when you just do not want to do it because it is a lot and you do have to make sacrifices. And some days, even without a kid, getting out of bed is really, really hard. It's hard to take care of yourself, let alone take care of another human being. So when parents struggle to get out of bed and then they manage to, it is a yay, good job. I'm proud of you for taking care of yourself and for taking care of your kid. That is a lot of work. You can't do what you want to do without considering how it's going to impact a child. I don't care if color is not something that you want in your house. You have a kid, you put color in your house. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that one there. Yeah, you have to make sacrifices if you have a kid. You have to prioritize their development and their needs over yours because, you can figure it out. You're an adult. You have the understanding of how things work and you understand what sacrifices are. You understand object permanence. You understand all of that. Babies Do not. And you have to be accommodating, and you have to acknowledge that, and you have to do things for them. And it's hard. It is. And I'm sorry that you have to jeopardize your aesthetic of your house. It's one room. It's one room. Please get over it. And as we were saying, a lot of people want to have like natural, calming nurseries. You know, they want to have rooms that are like nice and calming for babies. And there is one person who did this really, really well. And I want to share an example of if what these beige moms want is like a nice aesthetic room that's got like calming, nice vibes, they can do that. And there are ways to do that. And this is one of those ways.
I finished my daughter's nursery this weekend, so I wanted to share it because I'm sorry, this is the most beautiful room in the whole world and I cannot be argued with. I mean, just look at it. This mural, the bookshelf, I'm in love with every little detail, and obviously I should be because I did it myself, but I can't imagine a more magical place to bring my baby home to. I'm just so in love. If you have any questions about where anything's from, I am more than happy to answer them, and I will be totally transparent about how I feel about them, so just let me know in the comments if you're curious.
You see, that's all like natural calming vibes, but it's more like nature. There's texture, there's different colors, there's things happening. It's not just blank space. There are things to look at. They had the colorful toys like hidden away, but they're also still like viewable and easy access if you want them, and the child can get them themselves and just like pull them out. There's like flowers. The wall has like trees and things on it. The wood is such a nice, deep, textured, bright wood. Like she said, it's very warm, it's very inviting. It's so nice, and it is so calming, and it is natural, but like in an inviting way. It's not like cold. Like all of the other rooms are so cold. Like I said, they made me sad, and they made me feel empty and almost like isolated and afraid, whereas this feels very warm and friendly, like a hug, you know? And so whenever these beige moms are like, oh, you just want it to be natural and calming, you don't, because there are ways to do that you can do, and you didn't because you just want it to fit an aesthetic that looks good on your Instagram or whatever. You know, kids need color, kids need texture, kids need stimulation. They are developing human beings, and depriving them of such basic human necessities it's just not fair. You can't do that. It's so sad. It makes me sad. Sacrifices need to be made if you're having kids. If you aren't willing to make sacrifices, please don't have children. That's really all I can say about that. Do your house however you want to. I can't control you. I do whatever you want. But your baby's room, your child's room, that is their space, and you have to design it for what they will like. You know, and I know that they're babies and they aren't able to make that decision for themselves at that moment in time, but you know they don't want beige. You know no kid wants beige. It doesn't have to be like bright colors. It doesn't have to be yellow or purple or anything like that. My parents did my room as like a light blue for the reason of like they wanted it to be like calming but light and natural, and they knew that light blue was a color that was like calming for babies, and it's like the sky, you know? So I had a light blue room, and then I also had like things like Winnie the Pooh or other things like that, you know, like cartoon animals and like soft toys and things that were colored and textured and just brought stimulation to your brain, because as a baby you need that. And like you can't take that away from kids. They'll be so overwhelmed going into the real world. They'll be so overwhelmed when they leave the house, and that's not fair. It's not fair to take that away from kids. Especially when like people go so as far as like, you know, they only dress them in beige. They only let them wear specific things and do specific things. And what happens if they spill juice on the carpet, you know? The number one rule of having kids is don't have white furniture. So like good luck to all of you, because kids are sticky and they're messy. And I really hope that you are accommodating for that, because your kid's they're gonna spill juice on a couch, or they're gonna get their chocolate sticky fingers on something. You can't deprive them of things that give them joy because you don't want a messy house, you know? Make sacrifices. your kid comes first. Take care of yourself, obviously. It's important to have time for yourself, and it's important to heal. So it's important to have help, you know, whether that be from a partner, a friend, or anyone else. It is important to have help should you need it. It is important to take care of yourself. It is important to have time for yourself. It is important to have your own space. Absolutely. But if your baby doesn't have their own space, they're going to make your life harder too, because they need to be happy and they need to feel comfortable and they need to be able to keep entertained as well. They are a person. Well, I think that this is the end of my video. This was way longer than I thought it was going to be. That keeps happening. I hope that you did enjoy. Let me know your thoughts on colors and beige moms and such, because it's an interesting conversation. Maybe people won't like the way I talked about being a parent. I am not a parent, so I can't comment on it, but I am someone who suffers from childhood trauma and like neglect issues. So I feel like, you know, the way I talk about parenting is the way that I would parent, or at least the way I would like to believe I could parent. It's the way I think parenting is done right. And a reason why I am, you know, leaning towards not ever being a parent, because I am not certain I would be able to make such big sacrifices. And I don't know if I have the mental and emotional ability to be as emotionally available to my child as I think I would need to be. You know, that's a big part of the conversation of whether I would ever consider having kids or not, is like, am I emotionally available enough? Am I able to give enough to be a parent? I don't know. It's not a decision that I'm considering anytime soon, at least. And that's something that a lot of parents don't take into consideration before they have kids, is you have to, you know, understand how much you have to give. You have to be in an emotionally like good place, and you can't take shit out on your kids, and you can't, you know, make decisions for yourself that are going to negatively impact them. That's not okay. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts. I am interested to hear. A massive thank you to my Sprout and Above patrons whose names are up on the screen right now. And a huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons: Wolf, Toulouse, Bobby, Josh, Mandy, Robbie, Ikazel, Kai, Jessica, Eldo, Ida, Quia Corey, Mick McKenna, Anna, Raven, Danielle, Elias, Evie, and JD Creeper. I love and appreciate you all so much. Thank you so much for joining. If you would like to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/savvycat or click the top link in the description. For as little as £1 a month, you get videos a day early as well as podcasts a week early. And then for £3 and up, you get things such as outtakes, bonus mini podcasts, and live streams. I appreciate you all, so thank you. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, The Queer Kiwi, and Twitter, That Queer Kiwi. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah.
When you close your eyes